What's up, my dudes? We're back here in the studio. I've got my buddy Alvaro with me again. If you remember him, we built his system a couple years ago, actually in 2020. You may not recognize him because we were masked up at the time, but he's back. He's brought his PC back in here because it's not working properly. There's a number of things, a number of issues wrong with it. We're going to get to the bottom of it today, but neither of us really know what the hell is wrong with it, right? Like,
I have an idea, but I'm not sure.
Oh, what's that?
Well, I mean, you built it, so.
You know, when everyone told me that you were a disgusting person, I should have believed them. But you know, why don't I just take you to the fucking Apple store? You can buy a MacBook. How's that sound?
If you got the sponsorship, let's go.
You know what? Fucking roll the ad. I don't give a shit.
Before we continue, this video is brought to you in part by cdkeyoffer.com. So I have 3 desktop PCs that I regularly bounce between, and all of them are running activated copies of Windows from keys that I got on cdkeyoffer.com. I've used many key sites in the past, but CD Key Offer is the only one I've never had an issue with. I've never had a bad key, I've never had to call customer service, I've never had to email customer support, and I've never had to activate Windows over a phone, which is super fun. Right now you can get a Windows 10 Pro OEM key for around $22, but wait! Add it to your cart, use the 25% discount code BW20 at checkout, and the price drops to just $16.93. Buy Grabthar's hammer, what a savings. To use your new key, just go to your purchased orders from the drop-down menu to view and copy the key once you get there, and then paste that key into the Windows activation page. Voila! You've got an activated OS that's also eligible for a free upgrade to Windows 11. Alternatively, you can skip the upgrade and buy Windows 11 Pro directly using the same code BW20 to snag the OS for around $23. Activate the key using the aforementioned steps and get the full Windows experience easily and affordably. Thanks again to cdkeyoffer.com. Now back to the main video.
So I think I remember all the hardware that's in here when we built it. Did you make any changes to it hardware-wise since then?
No.
Okay, so
only
same
time I've
CPU,
ever
same
opened it
graphics
up.
card.
Yeah, everything's the same. The only thing I've ever done is I think I opened it up once with you here. I think you showed me where to put the extra
The
hard
SSD?
drive. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then if everything's the same as it was hardware-wise, the specs are, we got a Ryzen 7 3700X. There is a B550 motherboard in there from Asus. It's an Asus ROG mini ITX board. There's a mini ITX system inside of the Fantex P200A chassis, and then the graphics card is an Asus RTX 3080 Tough Gaming. I think we've got 32 gigs. Is it 32 gigs of RAM or 16?
I don't remember.
I probably hooked you up with 32 gigs, and then I forget the SSD exactly, but those are the core components that we're dealing with. So nothing there has changed. What seems to be the issue with the PC?
I turn it on. Sometimes when I go to turn it on with the button right here, it won't actually turn on. Monitors don't show anything updating or loading to the Windows screen, nothing.
So it's just black.
It's just black. So then I have to turn it off again, and then I unplug it, or the switch over here for the power supply.
Okay.
Give it 10 seconds, turn it back on, then press it, boom, loads and goes to the actual load screen.
Okay, so you kind of have to do this like resetting of the PSU switch just to get it to boot.
Just to get it to boot.
Right, to get a video signal.
That used to be like the only problem.
Okay.
But now it's kind of snowballed to the point where like
Interesting.
it takes forever to actually, once I sign in, it takes a minute to actually open up.
Okay.
Documents are taking forever to load, or they are not responding. Websites are taking forever to open up and load, anything like that.
How much porn have you downloaded on this thing?
Not more than normal.
Okay.
Whatever normal is.
Yeah, so we're in the,
Yeah.
terabytes probably, but
I've had to swap out the hard drive once or twice.
yeah, good. Yeah, I'm sure. If I do that today, I'll be using gloves. So it sounds like there's some things we can try troubleshooting just from the get-go, but why don't we just actually plug this into a monitor and see if we can recreate some of what you're talking about.
All right.
All right, so that looks good.
I like it actually booted.
So yeah, it has booted. This is a first boot, and
well, if I leave it unplugged for a while, like no power going to it,
right,
like cut off any kind of power going to it, then it'll boot.
I see.
I think last time I brought it in with you here when we got dinner, you kind of tried to do it, and you cycled it a couple times, and it did it where it wouldn't actually load.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. So it just hasn't. It's just gotten worse since that time.
Yeah, it's just snowballed, like to the point where like I can't even. I haven't done invoicing in a month.
Well, first of all, let me take a look to see what your startup applications are, because you said that it's slow when it signs into Windows like this, right?
The only thing I think I have is Steam turns on, my fan monitors, and I think my VPN.
So you've got iQ, OneDrive, Steam, EPS. I think that's EPSDN, MON. I don't know what that is. PIA. Microsoft Edge. We're gonna just disable some of these things that we don't need. Like,
OneDrive, I think was supposed to be my backup hard drive,
okay.
but it's not responding anymore either.
I'm just gonna leave your VPN as the startup on startup. Everything else I'll disable. Okay, so that might help clear up some resources right when you log into Windows. Did you say you were having issues when like launching a file or opening a file, or what was it?
Yeah, so if I open up, for instance, if I open up an Excel sheet, so if you go to the folder that says invoices, it's the only one on the right. Cool. Template.
Okay.
Make any kind of changes to it and stuff like that, and then I go to File, Save As, boom, just starts.
So if we put something like that, save as, and then save. Let me rename it something. To save.
Yeah, a lot of the times when it's like saving after I hit save,
Yeah,
this will all go black. It'll say non-responsive over there on the top left corner.
I see.
And then I can't do anything. I can't close it out, nothing like that.
Maybe I need to make some more changes because it seemed like it saved it fine just there.
Yeah, usually like when I do edit a document, like I'll have it open for like 10, 15 minutes and...
I see. Let's try to get them to crash. File save as. Okay, so maybe we just have to leave this running for a little bit before it does something, before it acts up.
Because like I'm not putting like a crazy amount of information. I'm not putting like, it's just I'm making a whole invoice type stuff like that.
Sure. Changing a few numbers.
Yeah. Like have the file open for like 10, 15 minutes and then boom, just crashes.
Is there any other application besides Excel that's doing that?
Chrome, when I go to Chrome and start searching stuff, sometimes the websites like lag up
I see. And is it usually like the system's been running for a while before it does that, or is it like it could be right after you boot up the system?
It could be right after I boot up.
Okay.
Like it's sporadic.
Does it ever crash like when you're watching video? If you're watching
no,
YouTube
it's like
video,
sometimes like it's just when it starts loading.
you watch this awesome YouTube video just randomly. So far everything's all right. So far we haven't had a single thing out of place since I've been here.
The only difference I would say setup wise is that you're doing it on a single monitor. I run 2 monitors. I don't know if that would make a difference.
No, that's just, the video outs. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me try restarting the system to see if we get a black screen like you were saying. Maybe I just need to be around your computer for it to work properly. It's just...
No, it's like when you take your car to the mechanic and you're like, it's making a noise, I swear.
And then it's perfectly
and then
fine.
it makes it perfect.
Always.
That's how I have my transmission replaced twice.
Maybe I should go get something for lunch while you stay here with the cameras
Keep the
rolling.
cameras, yeah.
But then it knows that the cameras are rolling too. It's too woke. All right, so this is normal. This is good.
Yeah.
Do you know if your Windows is up to date? It says you're up to date.
Yeah.
How have the fans been? Have the fans been normal speed? Have they been ramping up?
Oh, no, they've never had an issue like ramping up. Like I think since the last time that we played Halo together, like I haven't really put it through its strides enough, unless Chrome is really taxing on it. Like the most I do on it right now is Google Chrome to look up stuff online.
Yeah.
And Excel. That's as that's as much wear and tear as it's getting these days.
Gotcha. So 3700X, 40C on the CPU, RTX 3080 is at 25C. Okay, your temps seem fine. Your idle temps anyway. I don't see anything alarming there.
I remember like when I asked you last time about it, I was like, hey, I'm having issues with this. Before I brought it to you, you showed me, hey, hit the reset button on something.
Oh yeah, the clear CMOS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did that like a couple of times.
And that didn't
fix anything.
Yeah, so maybe it's not a software issue.
Like it's behaving right now, but that it's also been unplugged for like 4 hours from my house.
Right, exactly. What kind of devices do you have, if any, connected to this computer that's not right now?
My hard drive, the one I brought with me,
External
and a power supply for some LED lights on my desk.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else, like nothing hardware-wise connected to it.
Pretty standard, pretty normal.
Yeah.
Let me see how much memory you have, by the way.
I don't think.
Okay, you have 32 gigs of memory. That's good. So it doesn't seem like you're running into any system memory bottlenecks.
last time I came, you said, "Oh, maybe it's the RAM or whatever." And I don't. I think you
I think we
said
tested it with different sticks.
Yeah, I remember. I think you tested it, but I don't
any-
remember the results.
Didn't have any like notable effect. There's no difference in behavior. Would you say when you're operating the PC that Excel is like the #1 thing that makes it fail, or could it be anything?
It's like almost anything. Like I tried to hook up the backup drive to it to load the Seagate whatever software that comes with it to back it up.
Yeah.
And I go to backup hard drive, and then boom, does the thing where it starts to it'll say in the top left corner not responding.
Okay, and it just gets hung up.
And then it gets hung up. It leaves like this screen kind of stays up like this. Everything freezes.
Yeah.
This outline stays. This all turns black.
Oh, weird. So it almost sounds like there could be issues with like File Explorer. Like anytime you're working within like this part of Windows, like the folder file system, which means that maybe there's a corrupt file or files in your System32 folder. So maybe you have something wrong with your registry. It could be something like that. I believe there's apps that you can use to check for issues there. Let me give that a shot in a sec here. I just want to look through these, see if there's anything suspicious. Who knows what unholy apps you've installed on this thing.
Honestly, not a lot.
It looks pretty normal.
Mostly games, software for my radar detector for my truck.
Right.
I tried installing iTunes, but that didn't work.
Sexy Singles, what's that? No, I'm just kidding.
They're nearby. It's they were looking for me.
Okay. So you got Patriot Viper DRAM RGB and Patriot Viper M.2 SSD RGB. These are drivers that get installed with select RGB apps. Like if you install like MSI Mystic Light or Asus, whatever they call it, these will, sometimes they'll upload additional drivers just to ensure greater compatibility with specific pieces of hardware. For example, a Patriot Viper M.2 SSD, if you did have one of those in your system, this driver would ensure that it works properly with that RGB software. But what I've discovered in the past is that these can sometimes brick your system. Sometimes the instructions don't play nicely with the rest of your hardware, and it can result in instability. So I always advise to uninstall these unless you have no issues with it, unless you actually have that particular component that it's servicing. Otherwise...
But is that like pre-installed, or that's something I put in there?
That is something that was installed along with a software that you installed. So
Okay,
it was like bundled. It was bundled in and you didn't know about it.
Because the only time I ever installed any like RGB software was for the iQ. So I can change the color on the RGB fans and the...
Okay.
And I think my my graphics card also.
You have Aura lighting as well. So it could be Asus. It could have been the Asus Aura app. If it wasn't IQ, it was Asus Aura. And again, this isn't anything that you intentionally did. And it doesn't even say, like, would you like to install these drivers along with the app? It just automatically installs it to your registry.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sneaky. It's very sneaky, and especially if it's causing issues with people's systems, and that's a known issue. This has been widely reported on Reddit forums and just throughout the web, but manufacturers are still bundling these crap drivers with their RGB software. But it's hard to know if that was the issue, because now that I've installed it, we can't replicate it. So if it fixed it, we're not going to have that issue again. We won't be able to replicate it.
Well, try cycling the computer. Like, if we can cycle the computer, like
power?
restart it a couple of times. I know last time I brought it over to you, we cycled it like 5, 6, 7 times before it
started acting up.
Yeah, because when we did it, it was the same conversation. Oh, it's not going to do it now that I'm here.
Right.
It didn't do it initially
Right.
when I did it.
All right, let's give it a shot.
And then, like, after a couple of cycles, you're like, oh, that's interesting. It's doing it. And then that's when you pulled out the RAM, you checked it and stuff like that. You put in another set of RAM sticks.
Yeah.
And it still did it.
Right. And I don't think I checked for those RGB drivers last time. I don't think I did. So very well they could have been there from the get-go.
So when I see that logo, I mean, I know it's going to turn on.
Yeah.
But it'll do it, and it'll just, when that logo doesn't pop up, I know it's not going to turn on.
Right.
And I got to turn off the power.
Reset the power switch.
Hit it on the back, and I'll literally like reach under my desk and press the button.
Right. Okay, that worked. Let me just reset it a couple more times here. How often, like, would you say, what was the frequency? Like, was it like half the time it would crash anytime you tried to do that, or was like 100% of the time it was doing that?
So at the beginning, it was like half the time. So like almost making it like super annoying, but like if I gave it enough time to go through its response thing,
Right.
take 1 or 2 minutes sometimes.
Okay.
But lately it's been any file, anything. Just couldn't
almost
get anything
100%
done.
of the time. Just...
Yeah.
So this is the best it's worked right now
Yeah.
in a long time.
Yeah.
What we're experiencing
So
right
like,
now.
or one of the times that it consistently was doing it is when I hooked up my backup drive.
Oh, the Seagate?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Let's
that
try
one,
that.
like, yeah.
Thank you.
You want another beer?
Yes, please. So we've got your Seagate external drive connected to the PC, which is what's
Toolkit.
always...
The app's called Toolkit.
Okay, Toolkit. All right. But this is always connected to your PC. Let's just try to isolate, this potentially being an issue. I'm going to try to see if I can save something to the drive just to see if it acts any differently.
It's recognizing the drive. It hasn't recognized in like 2 weeks.
So that's good. That's a good sign. I mean, yeah, your drive's right here. It's popping up. It says Seagate Hub.
Yeah.
It's identifying it. I'm going to open up an Excel file and try to save it to the drive. Let's see if that does absolutely anything. I mean, this is a good problem that we're having. We're having difficulty crashing your PC. All right, just saved it to the drive. Seems successful. Everything's good. Anything else you want to try?
I should have filmed it at home, man. I should have filmed it at home.
Oh, you should have filmed it at home. I should have told you to film it. Dang. What we could do is we could go to lunch and mess around with it a little bit more after we get back.
Yeah.
Just to see, like, just give it some time.
Just leave it alone right now.
I'll leave it on. I won't turn it off.
You told me try when I was having the boot up issue, you're like, try leaving it on, just putting it to sleep.
Yeah.
It's like a whole thing about guys who haven't turned their computer off in 3 years.
And you know what? Actually, we do it one better. We run a stress test while we're gone.
Yeah.
And just see
like
if it crashes at all by the time we get back. All right, so we've got Cinebench and Combustor going so that we're actually taxing the CPU and the GPU more or less 100%. And right now, performance is looking really good. Utilization is all the way max, and your GPU is only at 61C right now. Obviously, we have the side panel off. It's pretty cool in here, but no signs of overheating there. And this is at 2560 by 1440, mind you. We're doing multi-core test on the Cinebench run. So these are just going to go while we're away, and we'll see if it holds up. I think if we come back from lunch and this is still running, and there's no weird signs of anything else, I think you're in the clear.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, it's acting right. Like, this is the most active it's been in weeks. Like, honestly, like, I've been like not able to load Google Chrome, get into my email, load the Excel sheet, save an Excel sheet.
Right. And also no booting issues that we've experienced today.
We haven't booted it. Yeah. Haven't had any issues with it.
I mean, that's got to be. I mean, I did a whole video on those drivers that we just deleted, the Patriot, Viper, N.2, RGB. I did a whole ass video. It didn't get a whole lot of attention, but it was something that I discovered and actually talked to multiple RGB app manufacturers like MSI, Asus, Gigabyte, and some of their engineers were like, their software engineers like, yep, these have been known to cause issues. One of them, I don't want to say who, but they're like, this is why we don't use this in our software, even though it can increase compatibility with certain hardware, certain components. We've noticed that it creates instability in certain systems. And I don't remember the exact reasons why. You can go watch that video. It's very telling, but
so
honestly,
you did a whole video on that.
Did a whole ass video on exactly what we just did.
I missed that video, but if I had notification turned on, I may not have missed it.
What a good plug. You know what? You do deserve your computer back, and you do deserve a working PC, Alvaro. What a guy. What a friend.
Turn your notification on, guys.
Turn your notification. Click the bell. Is it that hard? We're still saying this in 2023. Come on. All right, you wanna get lunch?
Let's go get lunch.
All right, we'll leave this running. Well. We've come back from lunch to find a hardworking PC still going strong with both stress tests still running. It's exactly where we left it. We've got Cinebench R23 going now. We were gone for a good 2 hours. Like, we talked a lot and stuff. We were gone for a while. It's been 2 hours. This looks flawless. 65C on the GPU, beautiful. We're at 63C on the CPU. Amazing. I'm going to, just for good measure, one last thing, is I'm just going to like restart it, reboot it a few times, just to make sure we are truly out of the woods. Uh-oh. It's black for a little too long. I'm getting uncomfortable. I don't like this. Not that against black screens, but
No,
you know,
black screens lives matters too.
but you know, if they hang around long enough, it makes me nervous. Okay, this is the first sign of abnormal behavior. I think I'm gonna reboot the system. From here.
It's on top.
So there's no reset button, it's just power.
No, yeah, it does. Just power and then this power supply in the back.
I'm gonna try it without the power supply first, because you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to reset the PSU switch in order for this to work. It should just work. Look at that, no signal. So that's exactly what you said it was doing.
Like it won't do anything.
What the hell? All right, I'm gonna take your suggestion and turn the PSU switch off.
Yeah, I usually
a
count to
second.
10 and then turn it back
Put
on.
it back on. And does that usually work with 100%?
It's 50-50. Not
Okay.
gonna lie. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes turns right back on.
Okay.
Sometimes I got to do it again.
I'll do you one better and unplug it as well, just to kill any residual power.
Yeah, that's what I used to do too. And you tell me, oh, there's a button on the back. I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
what that button's for.
Yeah. Just clear out the memory, or sorry, clear out the power. Sometimes holding the power button down can help. All right, come on. Come on. Okay. But now I'm sussed out. Invoices.
Yeah. So does that. I double click the folder a grip load of times
Yeah.
and it won't open.
Okay. It's acting so different than it was before.
Yeah.
So I right click this and it's still loading. It's still not, it's hanging up. It's actually getting hung up. Does that ever happen? The loading wheel just stays like that?
Yeah.
And then you can't do anything.
I literally can't do anything.
One idea I had is that we didn't really ever experience any kind of black screens when your hard drive, your external Seagate hard drive was unplugged. It was only once we started plugging it in, after we plugged it in, that we experienced that. So I just want to like cross this one off too. We're going to run this for a few minutes, reboot, and I think almost every single time that we've done this stress test, it's never rebooted successfully on the next boot up.
No.
But every time we've done it, this has been plugged in.
Yeah.
So now we're going to try it with this unplugged, where it's only keyboard, mouse, and monitor. Everything else is unplugged. Because sometimes USB devices, for whatever reason, can cause crashes or false starts to boots. So we'll just see how this goes. If this fixes it, then, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. All right, we've been going for about 8 minutes now. 8 minutes, I think that's a good run. I'm gonna go ahead and end that. Moment of truth, baby, let's go. Dude, what if it was your hard drive the whole time?
Like, would the hard drive be like non-functional, or is it just a
No,
file?
I mean, it'll still work, obviously, but if it's the problem, then it's still gonna...
Turned on?
Dude, it's the drive. This is the first time it's worked, and the only difference is that I unplugged the drive.
It was rebooted a couple of times, just
I'm gonna do it a few more times. But it's never done. It's never just booted that quickly and easily without any issue right after a stress test. We went for 8 minutes strong. Flawless.
can see it.
Flawless. Now, just for good measure, I want to do the stress test again for
With
like,
it
let's say
plugged
4
in.
minutes with it plugged in.
Okay.
Okay, so we got the drive installed. We're still speeding?
Yeah.
Okay. If it's a black screen again, it's probably the drive. But we'll see. I'm actually hoping that it black screens because that will mean we're onto something. Wait, hold on. Dude,
It's the fucking drive.
It's
I
the
can't remember
drive.
when I installed that drive. I'm gonna be honest with you.
really? Do you think you were having any of those issues before?
I'd be lying to you. I don't know. I know I've had it for a while. I don't know.
Like a year? Over a year?
Within the year.
Within the year.
Not gonna lie. I got it within the year.
It could very well be that. It could very well be the drive, dude.
Just going back to Costco tomorrow.
But this is clearly not working. We're back to not working. I think it's the drive, dude. I think it's the drive. Seagate!
Explain yourself.
All right. So this is something that we haven't tried before.
Unplugging in mid.
Unplugging it and then restarting the computer without resetting the PSU switch.
Okay.
Right? Let's just see. Let's just see what happens. Look at that. Look. It's the drive, dude. It's the drive.
On Seagate, computer won't boot with USB drive connected.
Literally the first result. Let me actually boot into the BIOS to see if it's trying to boot from it.
Access the BIOS, disable USB legacy support. The computer may boot correctly with the external drive.
We're going to disable legacy USB.
Yeah, let me see.
And okay, so you can see that our boot drive, it's only pulling from the M.2 drive, so that's good. It means that even if that's not responding, it's not going to try and boot from your Seagate.
Yeah, it also says change boot order. The computer may also prioritize booting from USB devices over internal hard drive.
Yeah, it shouldn't do that. So now with legacy boot disabled, we'll do another test. We'll stress test it a few minutes and then reboot with the drive plugged in.
The boot drive may not have even been related to the other XL shit, right? Because we fixed the XL thing pretty much, but.
All right, let's do this. Been going for just over 5 minutes. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Still doing it. It's still doing it. It's still not working even after disabling legacy boot.
Insert wah, wah.
I'm sure the people watching at home probably want to know the model number. The model of this Seagate drive. Do you have that?
I think it's on the back of it.
Oh, yeah. Let me check.
Because the box is long gone.
Product number 3FWAPB500. Seagate One Touch with Hub. What we could do...
Format it.
See if that helps. Because there might be some corrupted files on it or something like that. Is there anything... Do you need backup anything on there?
Well, everything that's on that hard drive is on this computer. So if you erase the hard drive, I'm not going to miss anything because as long as I have my...
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, because that's the whole purpose of that drive was to be a backup for my main drive.
So are you... Cool if I format this?
You format the hard drive. That's fine. The important files are on the desktop. That's what I care about.
It is formatted under NTFS, so we're just going to keep it that way for now. We'll do a quick format. Now we run another stress test. Welcome to PC Troubleshooting 101. Isn't it fun? This is what we do all day. And we love it.
Wet toilet paper or use wet wipes?
Okay. Wait, hold on. This just worked.
It booted just normal.
This is the first time it's booted successfully with the drive plugged in, and it's only because we formatted it. Dude. Okay. All right, dude.
I'm telling Mel to buy you sheets for...
No. They're good sheets. I just gotta, All right, maybe I'll dial them in. Nah, fuck that. I like being a disgusting pig. It's fun.
Okay, so here's my thing.
It's a good time.
I buy new sheets once a year.
Really?
Yes.
Okay,
and I wash
you have
them
OCD.
weekly.
You clearly have OCD.
I like to be clean.
Unhinged. No one buys sheets every... In this economy? Are you fucking kidding me? Buying new sheets? Good sheets are not cheap.
I didn't say they were good. They were
really?
IKEA. They're like a set for like $26.
Sorry, so you've got like shitty sheets, but they're always clean, and I've got like nice sheets and they're always dirty. We'll see who lives longer. You're fucking on, dude. It's on, son. But look, your shit works. All right? So clearly my filthiness has nothing to do with my PC fixing abilities.
According to Google, you should wash your sheets at least every 2 weeks.
Google talks a lot of shit, dude.
This is the...
You don't want to listen to Google. Don't live your life by Google.
The Health and Cleveland Clinic organization.
Ask ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT what's the longest you can go without cleaning your sheets.
How often should you wash your sheets?
Can we end this video? Is it safe to say that we've solved this mysterious case of the shitty computer?
ChatGPT is that it's recommended to wash your sheets every 1 to 2 weeks to maintain cleanliness and hygiene.
That's our time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this video.
The grossest podcast.
I'm so glad I spent all day fixing your computer for you to come here and insult me to my face about how filthy I am. Thanks, Alvaro. You know what? Let me just pack this up for you, make it all nice. Maybe I'll dust it off, you know? Send you on your way, send you on your happy way to a nice perfect rig, which would have cost you $500 at the Genius Bar or some fucking Best Buy Geek Squad. No, you know what? But I'm sure they would have been clean while doing it, so it all balances out. Have a good day. Fucking asshole.